Hi everyone, I'm Ali Graymond, and today I wanted to talk to you about what to do if you feel like nobody is understanding what you are going through. First of all, you need to understand that they don't have OCD and that there's no way for them to really understand what you're going through, and that the fact that if you feel like nobody understands you, like nobody's supporting you, is happening to the majority of people with OCD. So this is not just you, this is not just your situation. And for all the memes that are out there, for all of this kind of stuff, I find that generally family has very minimal support for the person who is suffering. So it's not good. Clearly, it doesn't help the person recover when they have to deal with family stuff on top of it, um, or relationship stuff on top of it. Whatever your situation is, whoever you're close to, who's not supporting you, find not supporting you in OCD. But additional, of course, stress, additional drama is never good. But you have to understand that your job right now, your main job is to recover. You can't change how somebody is viewing your disorder, how somebody's viewing your situation, how somebody's viewing your recovery process. What matters is that every day you are trying your best. You are actually pushing forward. So you're not giving into the compulsions to the best of your ability. Sometimes they just get too overwhelming and you feel like you have to give in. But if the majority of the time you are actually, if you can look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and say, yes, I am really trying. That is all you really need to do, is try every single day. And if nobody is supporting you, then that's fine. That's their problem. That's their situation. That's not yours. Kind of imagine yourself as being in a bubble. You need to recover. So don't let people into your inner world, so to speak, if they are not treating you fairly, if they're not treating you right, if they're not treating you the way you deserve to be treated. This is extremely important because people with OCD, the reason, or not the reason they got OCD, but one of the reasons they developed OCD is because they are very sensitive to begin with. And a sensitive person is much easily hurt. So you really have to look at who you are letting into your surroundings as you work on being less sensitive and being more emotionally protected. But until that happens, you really have to make sure that you surround yourself with good people. And if you have people in your immediate surroundings that are not good people, then what can you do? All you can do is distance yourself from them so that you're not getting hurt, and refocus on doing the recovery work. you know Believe me, your situation, if you are dealing with this, is not unique. I hear about this all day long. People with OCD, as much as they want to help, they really don't understand. And they they haven't lived it. You know what I mean? So they don't understand the severity of your anxiety. They just see, oh, this is a silly thought. Why would you ever worry about this? You know? So they will never understand, and it's not really their job to understand. And even if, whether they understand or not, it's not really gonna majorly help you recover. You know? Because I've seen people who, and again, this is very rare, but I have seen people who the family was really um, very supportive, and I wouldn't tell you that they recover at some super speed compared to to the rest of the people whose family is not very supportive, or friends or whatever, right? So it really doesn't matter. I find that sometimes it can actually work against the person, because if the family is a little too supportive, they start to help the person doing compulsions, because they don't want to upset the person. And then it starts to work against the person, even though they don't realize that it's working against them. So just look at it that this is another hurdle that you have to overcome. This is just the situation right now. And I do suggest doing ERP for life stuff the same way that you're doing ERP for OCD. That I don't like how much I'm affected by this situation. You can't change the situation because it's not coming from you, right? So say if you have some sort of turbulence, with people around you, right? So you can't change that. That's not coming from you, but you can change your response to the trigger, right? So exposure, which is situations, and then response prevention. So you're saying, okay, I see what you're doing, I'm not buying it, or I see what you're doing, I'm not going to be affected by it, you know? So if they're saying the wrong things, if they're doing the wrong things, if the general just their attitude is, not good, you don't have to buy into that. And if you find yourself analyzing, just like you're stopping to analyze OCD thoughts, where you're like, okay, I think I've analyzed it enough, same thing with this, that you don't let things get out of control emotionally for you, because you are more sensitive, and it is much easier for you to get into that rumination. Even though, say, you had a fight with somebody, the situation is technically real, most of the time your reaction will still be much more severe compared to somebody who is less sensitive. So in order to protect yourself and to change that, so you are less sensitive to these things, you need to train your mind to do that. So whenever you're in the situation, refusing reaction. I've already analyzed it enough. What can you do in this situation? If there's anything you can do, do it. If there's nothing you can do, then you have to stop analyzing, because analyzing will not do anything. You're just driving yourself more into higher anxiety, which will, of course, get back to OCD, right? Because the brain's like, oh, you're stressed, you're anxious, let me bring up all the thoughts, so you have to kind of let things be, and you've done your part, okay, choosing to move on. Oh, you don't support me with OCD, you don't need to, I'll recover on my own just fine. Taking that attitude and running with it. It is difficult, and again, I say that this happens to majority of people. So if you feel like I'm not being supported, I'm all alone, you're not all alone, I'll tell you that, because a lot of people are going through the same thing, and sometimes it helps. I I don't like OCD forums because of reassurance seeking that goes on. But I do like OCD forums in the sense of I'm going through this, and I need some support. And guys, by the way, feel free to use comments below to support each other, because it's tough, So if you're having a hard time right now and you feel alone, please leave a comment and say, and you will see how many people will respond to your comment. You're really not alone in this. It just feels that way, but you don't need anybody else to recover. You just need to do the recovery work. And again, 5% more each day. Not asking for the world here, just a little bit more each day. And that's how you basically, you start to crawl your way to recovery, and then you get up and you start to walk, and then you run, and then you recover. And then you're very cautious to make sure that you don't fall into it for about 6 months at least, not putting yourself under a lot of stress so you don't fall into the thoughts again. So that's the process. I hope you find my videos helpful. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I talk daily about all things OCD. If you would like to do the recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.